Why, hello there, lost family. Or maybe you're new here, a wonder just stumbling onto the Lost Gamer's path. Either way, the journey begins again. Today we are exploring the murky depths of Reddit. Am I the a-hole? So stay close. It's easy to get lost out here. So, as I said, we are in Am I the a-hole Reddit. And this one reads, someone at work stole my chair, so I had them arrested. This is sounding very dramatic so far. Did not know that was an arrestable offense, really. I mean, I guess it depends on how much they stole it. Anyway, it reads, I got a new job in sales working for a company that sells access control systems, CCTV systems, etc., etc. The chair in my cubicle was uncomfortable AF, so day 3 I brought in my own Herman Miller Aran chair. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. On day 4 it was missing. I looked around and another sales rep was sitting in it. I asked for it back, but he basically told me to F off. Wow, that's really inappropriate. I would say if you can get him arrested for that, do it. I'm already leaning towards you're not the a-hole here. I went and spoke to the owner of the company, and he told me that chairs aren't reserved. They are first come, first serve. I explained that I own the chair and it cost me $1,800. He told me that I need to come in earlier if I want that chair. That's just ridiculous. It's his chair. Nobody should be touching it, except for him. The next day, the same guy was sitting in it when I got to the office. I told him to give it back or I was going to call the cops. He refused, so I called the cops. It was quite the scene, I bet. But in the end, he admitted that he took my $1,800 chair. I was prepared. I had the receipt which showed the serial number. Yes, Aran chairs have serial numbers. They asked me if I wanted to press charges. My new boss said I would be terminated if I had him arrested, so I said, absolutely, I want to press charges. Okay, well, I guess. Good for you. It's ridiculous that the boss was trying to prevent you from doing that when I mean, for one thing, the boss could have gotten involved in this when you asked him to, and taken care of it more discreetly if that's what he wanted to do, but he kind of pushed you to where this was your only option. And again, he stole something from you. You have the right to do that. It's just ridiculous that he would try to fire you over that. I'm guessing he has extreme favoritism for this particular employee. My new boss fired me on the spot, so I carried my chair out with me as I was leaving. And yes, the cops arrested the dude who took my chair. He admitted to it. The dude who took my chair has been in the industry for about 15 years, but he's going to lose his security license, which means he won't be able to work in the industry. Wow. I mean, I tend to doubt this story if I'm being honest, but if it's true, it's kind of fun. Also kind of ridiculous and petty, but also, fun. He's going to lose his job. I don't give a ish. He shouldn't have stolen my chair. Am I the a-hole for making this dude lose his job? Honestly, I don't know. I guess it is kind of an a-hole thing to do, to, get that serious about it, but I also can't be fully against it, because, I mean, he did steal his chair. This person says, due to my lower back issues, I always provided my own desk chair and made sure it was clearly marked that it was my personal property. I also used a bicycle cable log to secure my chair to my desk at the end of the day. Wow. One coworker had his office chair disappear, so he sent an email to the entire global company address book. It was hysterically funny to read the response emails. This person says, sometimes being an a-hole is the correct response. Also, your boss is now out 2 workers. What kind of jerk? MFer. Okay, totally unreasonable. It was his personal chair. I mean, What if it was a personal laptop or a car or a cheese Danish? Who sides with the effing thief? Not the a-hole. Glad you pressed charges. F these hateful macho. Let's just say cheeseheads, because I can't say that. But yeah, I like the drama in that comment. It's hard to read because, you know, YouTube stuff. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. If this is a real story, if the boss sided with that guy, that's kind of ridiculous, but I guess he must have had some favoritism towards that guy. This person commented under that. Exactly, boss is like, F your chair and anything else of yours you bring in for work. She continues, years ago I had a coworker hit me. Instead of letting him go, they basically was like, boys will be boys. Gosh, two grown man that hit a woman. Damn. I wrote a long letter and basically said, this place is not safe to work. Had I myself hit anyone else, I am sure as ish not going to be able to keep working. Yeah. This person says the failure lays at the feet of the owner of the company. By shrugging off any responsibility to handle the situation, he opened the door for escalation to the point at which law enforcement needed to be involved. IMO, your owner failed in his job duty to intervene in legitimate issues between employees. This could have been handled without the law getting involved. 1,800 is considered felony theft, so you are not the a-hole, the owner of the company is. As someone else said, maybe get a lawyer for unlawful firing. I would at least consult a lawyer and see what possible restitution is. If it is going back to work for the company without the financial damages, it might not be worth it to go to court over it. If it is a right to work state, they will eventually find something to fire you over. This person says OP got fired so they can collect unemployment and they're away from a total ick boss, let's say. Absolutely. Pressing charges and getting fired. Absolute win for OP on all fronts. Suppose so? This person says, yeah, exactly. Sometimes you gotta be the polite a-hole, just to keep your sanity. Dude stole a $1,800 chair, not a stapler. Actions have consequences. Yeah, that's not a small amount of money. It's definitely not just a petty little thing. Maybe pressing charges could be considered a little petty, but I can't really have that much sympathy. I mean, the man was told that it was his chair and he wanted it back. And he didn't give it to him, so he was kind of asking for it. Okay, let's move on to the next post, shall we? Am I the a-hole for telling my husband that I'm going back on our agreement and I don't care if he cries about it? Dang. My husband and I, both 32, have been together since we were 19. Our entire relationship feels like it just blew up in my face, basically, and I can't tell if I'm overreacting. Okay. Seeming very dramatic, I'm interested. So we both wanted one child, and we have planned this for years. We wanted everything perfect first. The home, the careers, the savings, the investments, the nest egg, etc., etc. Because we both knew from early on, that once we had a baby, I would be staying home full-time and raising our child. His brother's life was unfortunately cut short by a daycare worker when he was just 5 months old back in 2017. That's so sad. So daycare wasn't an option, basically, and we need to make sure our ducks were in a row so I could stay home and be a full-time parent. 2 years ago, we were sitting on $500,000 in investments. Dang. A few nest eggs and different types of savings and bonds accounts. We bought the house. We even bought a damn boat. Nice. Good for you. Everything we planned for fell into place, finally, and we started trying for a baby. We now have a perfect 4-week-old daughter. I have been out of work since I was 5 months pregnant due to placenta abruption. Dang. But otherwise, everything went fine. She's perfectly healthy and was a good weight, and I bounced back from delivery fairly quickly because of how much of a support system my husband was. Well, that's really good. He did more than his fair share while still working full-time, which is partially why I cannot tell if I am being dramatic or if this is hormones or PPD or whatever. Like, I am legitimately livid. Okay, well, I'm interested. So basically, earlier this afternoon, I get a call from DHHS to go over health insurance options and whether or not the baby is eligible for state insurance based off our income. I had already given DHHS all of our info, social security numbers, job, etc., etc. When they called yesterday, and I was just waiting for all of the info and assets to be pulled. Anyway, she calls and says we aren't eligible because my husband makes too much money and that we will need to add her to our private insurance. Absolutely no problem at all. I kind of figured that anyway. But then she offhandedly mentioned that my husband is making $10,920 monthly gross and that the cutoff for state insurance is $7,830 monthly gross. Well, here's the issue. For months my husband has been telling me that he only makes $6K a month after taxes. So I get off the phone and I log into my husband's computer and into his banking, and sure enough, his monthly take-home is bordering around $8,500. He is transferring everything over 6K into an account I didn't even know existed. Okay, this is sounding really suspicious. So I call him out on it, and he breaks down and tells me that he just wanted something that was only his. Please keep in mind that all of my money has always gone into our joint account that he uses on a daily basis. Okay, yeah, I'm not loving that. So he is hiding money from me so he can have his own money while plugging away at mine. Over 45K he has sitting in that account, while telling me last week that we couldn't have steak for dinner because spending $38 on 2 steaks was a waste of money. Well, I guess you could still say it is a waste of money, but he obviously also has money that you didn't know about. So I told him I'm putting the baby in daycare and going back to work because obviously I need to safeguard myself if he is hiding away money. I can kind of understand that. I feel like you should put your baby first, though. This sucks, but I just don't know. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable giving advice on this, honestly. Something feels off about it. I don't know. He instantly started crying. See above daycare trauma. But I truly just don't trust him financially anymore. Yeah, I can see why. I mean, for all you know, he was saving up to just abandon you and start a new life somewhere else. I no longer feel secure here. I said I changed my mind, and I don't care if he cries about it. Am I the a-hole? I would lean towards no. This is a really complicated situation. I just don't know. It sucks. That's all I know. Okay, let's sort by top comment. Not the a-hole, it appears to me that he has already gone back on your agreement by deceiving you about his finances. If he wanted something that was his, he could have agreed to have separate personal accounts as well as joint accounts that fund your regular expenses. Why didn't it occur to him that you might want something that was just yours as well? I wouldn't trust him either. With that kind of money, if he doesn't want your child in daycare, perhaps he should pay out of the funds that he has been hiding whatever the extra would be for a nanny. They also added, in view of the nanny problem that people discussed, he can spring for nanny cams while he's at it. Yeah, I would definitely say he has enough. Yeah, another person agreed. Not the a-hole for sure. This is a completely reasonable response, and honestly, I wouldn't blame you if this shook the foundation enough to consider divorce. That would just suck. Why do people wait to F up their marriages until they have a kid in the picture? Like, you've been together forever. Why can't you just not F it up until, I don't know, your kid's in college at least? I don't know. Anyway, It continues, it's wild work to take away your independent financial stability and then handicap you on top of that by lying about his income. Also, what the F was he going to do with 45K plus that he thought you wouldn't notice? That's for sure. It kind of makes me feel like maybe he was planning on just leaving. They continue, buy another boat and hide it? Come home with a Zoom car and claim it was a freebie? The implications of this go much deeper than him just lying about his income and hiding money from you. They continue, don't let him or anyone else, including yourself, try to gaslight you into thinking this is just because of hormones. Yeah, it's definitely not just because of hormones. Some shady-ish is going on. This person says it would have taken him at least 18 months to save 45K by hiding that 2.5K from OP every month in his secret account. This started before she got pregnant and a year before she left her job. He started hiding money from her while she still had her own income that she was sharing with him. That's telling. There's no way I'd give up my career if I was OP. She's going to need her financial independence because who knows what he's up to. Yeah, it definitely seems really shady. I wouldn't trust him with a nanny if he can't be trusted with money, someone says. Another person says, what else is he hiding from you? Yeah, it all seems extremely suspicious. I wouldn't trust him at all, if I'm being honest. Ugh, it's just a tough situation. I hate that for people. Anytime there's situations like that, or worse, it just sucks. This person says, not the a-hole, he doesn't get to have secret financial security set up in case you split up while preventing you from doing the same. He can either dump that 45K into the shared account and give you access to make sure that doesn't happen again, or he gets to realize that he is the reason his baby is in daycare. This person also says, yeah, but who knows what else he's hiding. Once trust is gone, it's hard to move forward. That's true. This person added, you can't put the yolk back into a cracked egg. This person says, yeah, I definitely don't think he was just hiding 45K to have a little something for himself. And if he was, he needs therapy. He was working on an exit strategy. For sure. Yeah, initially when it started going into that, I was assuming this was probably going to be a secret family situation, but where he had that much just saved up, I think he was just preparing to leave. Which is messed up because it sounds like he would have been preparing to leave before they even had the baby. Which is just beyond messed up. Just don't freaking have the baby if you're already unhappy and don't want to be in the relationship. That's just disgusting. He wanted out, but he just wanted to, have her permanently attached to him so she would never be able to fully get out, basically, is what it feels like. And he succeeded, so... Ugh. This person says, no, he needs to move half of that into an account in only OP's name, and he needs to autopay half of that surplus into OP's account. And OP, meet with a lawyer and draft a post-nap. Yeah, I tend to think that's a good idea. Not the a-hole, there are some red flags here, and you should definitely start looking out for yourself. Agreed. Well, I think with that said, our little adventure comes to an end here, for now. But the path never truly does. If you enjoyed getting lost with me, show me with a like or a comment. It helps me and my channel far more than you know. And if you wish to keep traveling these hidden trails, subscribe. And I'll see you when the path reveals itself again. Bye for now.